Good morning, late morning, actually, almost noon Big Brother time, Big Brother fans, on Saturday, September 6th, day 61. I did not record a late night podcast last night after the feeds came back on at midnight. And, I'm out and about, and so I'm doing one today, and I want to recap what's going on. I'm sure most of you know what's going on, but there's obviously some of you that just listen to me, and so there's a lot that's going to be, quote, revealed here. Not a lot, but it was a bit traumatic for a lot of people in the Big Brother world last night when the feeds finally came back, because turns out Rachel is the one that was gone. So in the Big B community, look, I have to be 100%, I don't think it's going to be much of a surprise to any of you, honest that I was not rooting on Rachel for the season. So I wasn't like as affected by a lot of people, but a lot of people were very, very, I would say the majority of the fandom is upset that Rachel is gone. And I do not mean to come across as unsympathetic or, I'm not happy she's gone. I think it really is going to kill the show as far as this season, because they invested in it, they committed to it, and I said, hey, she's on the show, this is the route they're going, so okay. And I enjoyed Rachel this season. I just have that never-ending issue with they put in one alumni with 16 newbies. And I just think it's both an unfair advantage, and it also, in this case, it really skewed the fandom, right? There's a lot of people that jumped on board on the Rachel train, and there's a lot of people that saw Rachel on her Big Brother 12 and Big Brother 13 season, and they were much, much younger. I was much, much younger, but I wasn't that young, right? A lot of those people that are watching it now this season were my age, or I was their age when I watched it the first time around. Or, they were even younger than that. So I get the emotional attachment, all of that kind of thing. So please, for those of you that are really, really, and I'm not being sarcastic about this, traumatized by Rachel being out of the house now, I'm sorry. I really am. I'm sorry for you. I think it's going to hurt the show. All those kind of things. However, I also am just like, okay, we carry on. We keep going. That's how I have always said. It's like, yeah, I don't have a favorite because, it's a tongue-in-cheek. Your favorite's never going to win. But it is one of those things where I'm here for the gameplay and for the people that are in the house, and we're going to see what happens next, and we're going to go on, and that's how I am about it. So let's do that. But I'm still going to talk about some of the fallout from all of this, because there was multi-levels of stuff going on here. I think I talked about my post about the feeds not being crazy and chaotic, and that how that kind of blew up. And now, in retrospect, I do believe that the people, it was Chelsea and Sharon Tharp that printed out the feeds are going to be chaotic. I think they were fully under the impression that the feeds were going to go live earlier in the day yesterday. I think the initial plan by production was, we're turning the feeds on at 9 a.m. like we did the year before. And then Rachel got left out. And they were just like, crap. I don't know what the advantage of is waiting until midnight. You're getting, one more possible TV view. You're annoying the fandom. And then you're going to annoy him even worse when she's gone. So I'm not sure the logic of it. But I hate to say it. I hate to look at it from a news angle and think, oh, well, it's the Friday news cycle. If we put it out late, no one will notice. I mean, it's obviously going to be noticed. But as of right now, well, the casuals don't in theory know. And some of you are casuals. I mean, I know at least one person that until I said just now, Rachel is out, didn't know Rachel was out. And so I know there are a few others of you that are the same way. So let's get into the whole, I mean, that's the problem. I can go in two different directions. I can talk about all that fallout, or I can talk about just the facts. Let me get you the facts where things stand. and we'll see where I am at time-wise and if I can go back and dig more into this whole angle of why they did it this way and what it means and is it all that kind of stuff. So feeds come back right at midnight Eastern time last night. I watched the show, by the way. They showed a little bit of the post eviction, Mickey's eviction, fallout where Vinny was asking me, who do you think that weird vote was? And apparently that was part of his plot, right? I read that later, that Vinny had planned to throw this rogue vote. Well, he's the one stirring the pot. People are speculating. It was even talked about a couple hours ago. I saw it on the feed. So it's still being kind of discussed, but I mean, now, I don't know. But they showed that on Unlocked. And they did a few other things. They had a segment on the people that do the costumes, which is kind of cool. They did a couple of other flashback segments and stuff that happened early in the season, whatever. And it's fine. We're through it. We're on. Great. Okay, on to midnight. Feeds come back on. Took us a second to figure out who's not there. Because Keanu wasn't seen. Ashley was. Well, I didn't see Ashley at first, but. And then, so it was like, it could be. And people had thought that it was going to be Will. That was one of the rumors flying around. But Rachel was another rumor. Well, obviously, suddenly people realize that Rachel's gone. And what we have pieced together, and I am not going to be 100% accurate on this, but what we have pieced together, remember there was some leaks or some hints dropped Thursday night, Friday, that it may have been like a safety chain competition, where the first person, however it is determined, picks the next person to be safe, and the next person, and until you get the last person who isn't safe. They're like, well, you're the end of the chain. You're the last person. You don't get to stay. I'm not still sure how that worked, because I saw that they said that Morgan picked Rachel. But if she picked Rachel, that means that she wasn't the last. So it was kind of a safety chain, but it was also tied to this competition that they did on reindeer games. And I guarantee you right now, there is someone who knows exactly how this all worked and has it figured out, and it's exactly how it was done in reindeer games. I don't remember. I watched it once on reindeer games, and I kind of fast-forwarded through a lot of reindeer games, to be quite honest. It wasn't like a great, awesome show to watch. I was like, okay, let's see what happens. I watch it. But I understand the concept of the safety chain. I remember the wheel that they would spin to roll the ball around in a maze, and there was a clock that kept decreasing in time. Someone said last night that the first time was like 6 minutes. And then they also mentioned, I think it was Will was talking about, he said 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That may have been the time that nobody could beat. And maybe that was the time that Rachel went off on. So this is my theory, and it probably won't be right, but I'm going to throw it out there. They got to pick each other, the order that they got to go in. And because people are saying that Vinny and Morgan apparently, quote, threw the competition. My guess is they completed it at a slower time, but they knew that they didn't have to they knew that somebody else's time was better. In this case, Lauren must have had the best time because Lauren is the head of household now. So this competition that eliminated Rachel apparently was a combination HOH competition, and by the way, one of you will also be leaving the house. I mean, it's going to be, I could see why when Chelsea and Sharon were posting it, they thought this is going to be chaos on the live feeds if they show much of this. But we don't know what happened yet. We don't know how it went down. This was all in this white locust backyard probably too. Because that was all cleaned up when the feeds came back on at midnight last night. No sign of that locust set. They were sitting in the backyard with no sign of it. So the rest of the week sounds like it's going to play out normal. Okay? So somehow Rachel got eliminated. They called her a sacrificial lamb. They said the fans are going to go wild or be angry. I'm not sure, but they don't have a concept of how things are in the outside world, right? First of all, most of them aren't big fans, so they don't understand the fandom. And on top of that, they don't understand what's going on. They can only think what they think is going on. And of course, if production says anything, they say, "Oh, it's going great." But so somehow Rachel got eliminated. And this competition happened Thursday night, fairly close to the end of the show. I mean, not much off, maybe a couple hours after that or something, because Rachel did not pack. They had to pack for Rachel. Kelly talked about, I think it was Ashley packed for Rachel because she may have packed some of Kelly, like dress that Kelly was going to wear or something. That was a conversation that happened. So Rachel basically was the second in a double eviction, in which that would be where you would think Rachel might go out, right? I mean, they've called it a double eviction when they were talking about it, because that's how they're viewing it from their world. From the casual viewer's world, we won't see any of this play out until Tuesday. So there's a huge gap. But on TV, the gap, in the house, the gap was only a couple of hours. So Lauren, through all of this, somehow one had a household, apparently having the quickest time. It also sounded like it was their description was a maze that they had to roll a ball through, but it sounded like it was a board. They talked about the board. And when they say a board and a ball in a maze, I don't think of a vertical board. I think of a flat board. So, and other people said maybe shuffleboard, which shuffleboard doesn't make sense to me, but again, we didn't see it. I'm guessing a tilting board table kind of a thing. Potentially. We'll see. None of it matters. Lauren had a household. And Lauren has made her nominations. Remember, the feeds came on at midnight. In theory, she made her nominations sometime Friday afternoon. And Lauren has nominated Will, Ashley, and Morgan. So Morgan is now up. Vincent's buddy, but also remember Lauren is buddies with Vince, so it's kind of like one of those. Morgan's up. She was crying when the feeds came up, or she was in bed crying, and Vince is leaning against her, like comforting her. So that's going on. As I think Will and Ashley were talking, in some ways it really didn't matter who got nominated. And actually today, Ashley said something to the effect of, she told Lauren, just put me up. I'd rather have a chance. I've never been drawn to play Power Veto. Now, she was picked. I think Will picked her, he drew her name, but her name has never been pulled out of the hat to play Power Veto. So she's like, just put me up. I want to have a chance to play for it. So the only two people that aren't nominated at this point are, is it two? Yeah, Kelly and Keanu are the only two that aren't nominated. Oh no, and Vincent. So there's three people that aren't nominated. Kelly, Keanu, and Vincent aren't nominated. And there's a pretty strong feeling among the house that Lauren is not putting up Vinny. So she might renominate Kelly or Keanu, one of those two, if the power veto is used. So that's kind of where we're at. They drew names for the power veto, and Vincent and Ava, I think. Oh, Ava as well. Ava's not nominated either. So there you go. There's another name. So Vincent and Ava are playing for the power of veto. And that's that. The thought is, I would say, unless they're both safe on Thursday night, that Morgan or Keanu will be the ones that will get voted out. But that's down the road, folks, right? Because we haven't even gotten into power veto yet, and neither of them are on the. Well, Morgan is on the block, but if she wins power veto, she'll take herself off. If Vincent wins it, will he take her off? I think he may. And people are thinking if the power veto is used, that Keanu would go up as the renom. And they feel very strongly that Keanu is the target now. It's Morgan or Keanu. And so it comes down to the power veto being played. And if Keanu goes up, then Keanu would be the one to probably go home. Maybe. I'm not saying that for sure. Plus, you got to get the blockbuster, right? Are we caught up? Are we kind of caught up? Mostly. I think have-nots are done. I'm trying to think if there's anything else as I've reached my destination, and I'd rather finish this up than pause it and try to regather my thoughts afterwards. So let me actually just pull over here and think about what all I've told you to think about, if there's anything I have missed. We've got our nominees. We've got power veto. Names have been drawn. That's going to be played sometime today. They've speculated on what it will be. Who knows what it'll be? It won't be in the backyard. I don't think it's going to be Zingbot, which they were thinking could. I don't think it'll be the hide the veto competition. Yeah, and so, yeah, that's it. That's my thoughts for right now. If I come up with something else, maybe I'll tell you tomorrow, or probably not later today. At the very latest Monday, I'll tell you if there's who won the power veto. But I may do one tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. We'll see what's going on. The back to the Rachel stuff again. I don't want to seem unsympathetic. I don't want to come across as harsh, but at the same time, I don't know. I think a lot of people, I know not everybody was, but I do think there was a group of people that thought this was Rachel's destiny to be the first 2-time winner of Big Brother, and she's going to do it on this. And if that had happened, I would have been like, yeah, she was put in a house with newbies and steamrolled them. I don't know if it's a crown to hang your hat on. And I don't know how people would have felt if she'd gotten to the final 2 versus somebody and lost to them. I don't know how to feel. I understand that of the ways to go out, getting shafted by a competition, that it sounds like she didn't get voted out. She just, and it sounds like she may have not done well on this maze thing, is the other thing. Is like she timed out, but it sounds like she may not have done well, even if she had timed out. I just don't know. We'll see it. But it does suck. It does really suck when you go into a thing where you think this is what I have to do to win. I either need to win competitions or I have to do my social strategy to solve the game. And then they threw a wrench in the plan. It's like, well, this isn't how the game was supposed to work. Now, of course, that's how it used to be in the early days, right? People had to figure the games out. So what do you do? I don't know. I think someone, I think Taryn from Rob Has a Podcast, somebody quoted Taryn in saying, it's like it was almost like they nominated their own best ally. They got their best ally out of the house. It is almost like production came up with a twist, and that twist resulted in their biggest player getting eliminated. The one they guarantee you production wanted Rachel to stay around until the very end. They want her on the TV, and now she's going to be sitting in the diary in the jury house. So for them, again, that also why would they want to turn on the feeds to see the rat? They've someone else posted that they've limited comments on Instagram, like the Big Brother account is limiting comments on Instagram, probably because it's all negative stuff and people complaining. So yeah, there's that too. It's a bit of a disaster for them, but and there's lots of people saying they're done with Big Brother. There's lots of alumni saying they're done with Big Brother. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. I saw one, I'm not going to name names, but I saw one quote of an alumni who said, and I'm sure you can figure it out or go look to see, but one alumni said they were canceling their feeds. And I'm like, yeah, how much were you really watching the feeds? And maybe they were. But I've seen other alumni that have spouted stuff that they don't even know what's going on. So showing that you're canceling the feeds is a, I don't know. The word performative comes to mind, but it is what it is. I'm still watching. I'm sticking with it. I am not a fan of production or the way they're doing any of this. But at the same time, I'm not quitting on the people that are in the house, right? I'm not quitting on them. And that's for what it's worth. Some people would say they deserve to be quit on, I suppose. Whatever. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm going to post this sucker and continue on with my day. Hope you guys are having a good day otherwise. For those of you that were not aware that Rachel Riley had been sent to the jury house, I am sorry to be the one to break that to you. I am sure there'll be lots of jury segments. There's one thing we can guarantee. I will be posting this as soon as I will be posting that thought as soon as I post my podcast. One thing we can be guaranteed. This will probably be the season with the most jury segments. Yep. So when you see that, yeah, that's what just popped into my brain. Take care, everybody. Thanks for your support. As always, have a good weekend, and I will talk to you all at the latest Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.